members know what level to choose for things like art, or things that are skill based?
So when you look at the program, a lot of times the prerequisite is listed in the program next to it. And if it has a prerequisite, then you would just want to make sure that you've covered the courses before that. And if there is no prerequisite listed, then you can just feel free to have your students start in whatever the rotation is for that year with the alviary. And I think that Amy has a prerequisite course document that we're going to share that will be attached to this somehow as well, that gives you just like a quick breakdown so you don't have to feel like you have to scroll through the entire program to find all of the things. It'll be just like kind of a quick glance for you to look at. But generally, the subjects that you would want to be careful with prerequisites would be math, of course, art, geography, solfa in the music. The rest of the music I think would be fine, but solfa in particular, you'd want to start at the beginning with that. Things where the skills are going to build on each other as they go. Reading lessons. If you haven't started reading lessons with your kid, then you might not be ready for the third grade reading lessons. You might need to do some placement there. Um, and just those kinds of general things.
Sloyd would be another one.
Yes, Sloyd. That is
Yeah.
it. Don't jump into level 5 Sloyd if you haven't done it before.
Yeah. Another one to think about is physics in ninth grade. I think a lot of times people are, that's a big prereq. I know they recommend you could take Algebra 1 simultaneously with that one, but I find that to be a little bit harder for kids. So that one, I would say you might want to have Algebra 1.
I see over and over again in the Hive people saying, oh no, what do I do? The physics, the math is too hard for my student. So I think you want the math really ready before they jump into physics.
Yeah. And
Um,
even in the foreign language too, I highly recommend, if the kids have not had any foreign language, to do picture study first, unless they're in high school or really old. Even though I still think they could really benefit from picture study, because it's, Mason talks about really needing to hear the language before seeing it, because otherwise in our eyes as we're reading it, we're going to think of the English sounds of how to sound them out, and it's not going to be the same as, the language. So that's another one to consider.
Well, and especially with those lessons in particular, none of the lessons are written in a way where you would feel like your high schoolers being talked down to by going through those lesson plans. They would definitely be able to, I've benefited from them. I think the only time that that would come into play is maybe with a book choice, but I don't think that that's an issue with the foreign language in particular. I think that that's a really great recommendation, Amy.